Thank you and welcome. I am here representing one of my other bosses, Eloise Thomas. And if you know her, you know she knows everything. So she tried to give me as little to say as she possibly can, so I won't mess it up. So she told me to, first, I have to thank everybody for being here. I appreciate you all picking this location. We are about energy. We are about the greening of everywhere. We are about quality. And we're doing that all over the country right now. So E2 Environmental Enterprise is here. I think they're sponsoring this. Michigan EIBC and Evergreen Climate Innovations. Am I correct, Scott?
Nailed it. You're right.
It'd take him a little while. All right. But first, thank you for being here today. And of course, the Lieutenant Governor, we can't forget him, for the state of Michigan. But I want to welcome you here because we've been a part of the utility industry now, I think, for almost 10 years. And before that, of course, we're a supply chain management company that kind of propelled us into energy. And now we have been propelled into the agriculture side of it. We do a lot of business with the U.S. Department of Forestry and the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Forestry is all about greening. As you know, the world is on fire, it seems. Every day you hear, fire, fire, fire. So there's a lot of re-greening that has to be done. And we are right now in New Mexico and in the West helping them to clean up and grow trees, and it's a lot to be done. We are right now in all of the southern states, and they're asking us from Detroit to help them to do things that they never had to deal with before. I mean, it's hot in Mississippi, but they don't usually have fires. And controlled burns is a big thing there right now, but after it burns, it's got to be re-greened again. So we're dealing with a lot of issues, and our whole goal is to partner with good organizations. We don't see ourselves as having competitors. We kind of see ourselves as partnering with whoever's out there to make this a better place to live and a better world to live in. And we do automotive, so we're talking to automotive about EVs, which you all do. DTE was just talking to us about all the methods they're using for energy efficiency outside of fossil fuels. So we are doing a lot of things and getting a lot of information that we can share with our partners. So that's why I look at you as a partner. I look forward to myself and this company, SEAL, working with you, for you, to make sure we have a better place to live. So welcome. Thank you so much for being here, and have a good day.
Thank you so much, Mr. James, for welcoming us here today. We're thrilled to be here at SEAL and to be announcing the release of the Clean Jobs Midwest report. So I'm going to take a moment to just introduce who all is up here. I'll give a few top lines of the report, and then I'll hand the mic to Emma, who will introduce the Lieutenant Governor. Before I do that, do we want to just scooch chairs a little bit, just so you guys aren't totally behind me? Or, sorry. Is that okay? Sometimes you're not sure how it's all going to go until you get started, Does that look better to our cameras? Okay, cool. Here. Okay, perfect. All right. So, my name's Michaela Preskill, and I'm E2's Midwest Advocate. E2 is a national nonpartisan group of business leaders from every sector of the economy, and we work to advocate for policies that are good for the environment and good for the economy. So I'm here today with, of course, the Michigan Lieutenant Governor, Garlin Gilchrist II. Thanks so much for being here. Emma Hayali from Flow, Mike Westcott from Harvest Solar, the Business Development Manager, and Scott Allen Davis, who is the Vice President of Inclusion and Economic Development at SEAL, and of course, Grace McKenzie from the Michigan Energy and Innovation Business Council. So today we are here to release the 2023 Clean Jobs Midwest report. Our report tracks clean energy jobs in 5 clean energy sectors: energy efficiency, renewable energy, clean transportation, clean fuels, and grid and storage. And while the report itself covers all 12 Midwestern states, today we are here to talk about the state that leads the region in clean energy jobs, and that is, of course, Michigan. Michigan is home to over 123,000 clean energy jobs. That's more than 6 times the number of lawyers, web developers, and real estate agents combined. And the industry grew nearly 5% last year, added 5,000 new jobs at a growth twice as fast as the overall economy. It's fitting that we're here today at SEAL because energy efficiency is by far the largest sector in the clean energy industry. And while energy efficiency is the biggest sector, clean transportation jobs grew the fastest at a rate of 14%. Now, the industry's growth is expected to continue as federal climate investments bring in new clean energy projects. And with strong state policy, growth is even more certain. That's a good thing, of course. When clean energy jobs grow, our entire economy benefits. Clean energy jobs are available to everyone, and they cover a wide swath of the economy, from manufacturing, innovation, construction, investment, etc. They also cover every corner of the state of Michigan. Over 16,000 jobs, for example, are in rural areas. So we know that when we invest in clean energy, we can create thousands of jobs across many occupations throughout the entire state in the coming years. And I'll hand it to Emma.
Hey, hi, I'm Emma Hayali. I'm very excited to be here talking to you today about EV charging, manufacturing, and my role in clean energy field. You may have seen Flow on billboards on 94 and 75 and wondered, what is Flow and what do we do? Flow is the leading North American electric vehicle charging network operated in smart charging solutions. We work each day to overcome climate change and accelerated EV adoption. We do this by delivering the best EV charging experience to EV drivers from curbside to countryside. Each month, we enable more than 1 million charging events thanks to 95,000 fast and level 2 EV chargers located in the public, private, and residential areas across North America. Our stations are there to keep EV drivers on the road, and we are proud that they are the most reliable and durable on the market as of today. My part in Flow is as an electrical mechanical assembler, or technician. I have worked at Flow for about a year now. My job is to support and improve production before our products are shipped to customers across North America. I'm thankful to have gotten my start really early in high school, actually, where I have received 2 years of hands-on technical training through Oakland schools, which taught me the technical skills and dedication that I have needed. This training has positioned me to take an important role and help advance to this new, exciting transition to EV charging. But this transition couldn't have taken place without the support of the state of Michigan. I and the entire Flow team are grateful to the leadership in Lansing who have helped advance both education and support. We often say that we couldn't be here today if it wasn't for both the governor and the lieutenant governor, both of whom have supported and visited Flow within the last year. Lieutenant Governor Gilchrist, we have been honored to have you visit a year ago at our ribbon cutting in Auburn Hills facility. We hope to have you back soon and see how far we've come. And we'd love to actually have you use our chargers out front. In the meantime, I'd like to welcome you, Michigan Lieutenant Governor Garlin Gilchrist II, to tell us more about the state's clean energy and role the Michigan policy can play in setting up our state to lead the clean energy transition.
I was definitely going to reference the fact that I was there at the ribbon cutting, and actually the scissors from that ribbon cutting are actually in the background when I do television interviews. So oh, this is great. It's good to see you here, Emma. I think that the Flow story is a good example, a good illustration of what's possible when we combine so many of our priorities here in the state of Michigan: economic development and opportunity, training of students in our workforce to have a role in the jobs of today and tomorrow in this clean energy transition. Amazing companies choosing to invest in Michigan and then deepen their investments in Michigan further. And also connecting to this ecosystem that is growing in here. And I want to start by acknowledging my friend, Mr. Lewis James, and thank you for hosting us here at SEAL. SEAL is a business that's been an important leader in this space in the state of Michigan and nationally for a long time, and really showing, what it means to be thoughtful and conscientious and to help so many others grow as well. You recognize that your success is about the entire ecosystem's success and the entire industry's success. And it's players like you who have helped Michigan be such a fast-growing state when it comes to the clean energy sector. And so we're really proud of of the results of this Clean Jobs Midwest report. It's great to be able to come and brag about Michigan and to talk about really where we're going and the trajectory that our state is on. And I think this report really is a blockbuster, and it affirms that we are on the right path and that we need to continue to do more. I do want to highlight some of those numbers already that Michaela just said, because it is worth repeating. When we talk about almost 124,000 clean energy workers, that's a great overall number. But I do want to emphasize that that number represents accelerating growth in the sector. In fact, the number grew almost 5% last year alone in 2022, which is twice as fast as the rate of growth for the overall economy in the state of Michigan. And within that, you said you track 5 sectors. Where are you? Okay, there we go. You said you track 5 sectors. So the clean energy sector, you also track clean transportation jobs in particular. And the growth in that piece of it was 14% in the last year alone. And so that's just more people who are involved in this ecosystem, whether they are producing electric vehicles, whether they're working in the battery plants or the supply chain for those vehicles, other components. This really is exciting, and it shows that this sector is growing, that Michigan is going to be a leader here in this space for decades to come. The 16,000 clean energy jobs in rural areas is important to show that when we invest in this space, we're investing in the whole of Michigan and economic growth and opportunity all across our state. This is also supporting in this sector many small, vibrant, and growing businesses. And in fact, 75% of the clean energy businesses in the state of Michigan employ less than 20 people. So these are some of the smallest businesses in our community that are having some of the biggest impact for our economy and our environment. They're being created at companies due to entrepreneurs who are just ready to get their hands dirty, ready to make sure that people have access to their place in this greening economy. The numbers show also that climate change is an opportunity. The way that we can mitigate climate change is through innovation, through partnership, and through ideas. And those ideas will help us to build solutions, they will help us to create jobs, they will help us to grow our economic vitality, they will bring more people to the state of Michigan and help grow our population. And frankly, it just shows that when we decide that we're going to tackle a problem in Michigan, we do it better than any state in the country. Now, I think from the policy standpoint, the governor and I are going to continue to do everything we can to make sure we are supporting this growth and doing more to actually accelerate it. And that, just to call out some of the things we've done before, we have signed executive orders over our 5 years in office to develop a plan for economy-wide carbon neutrality goals by 2050. We've set interim emissions goals for the state, the reduction of 28% by 2025 and 52% by 2030. And the governor in the What's Next address she gave a few weeks ago actually called for a date certain for Michigan to have a 100% clean energy standard, and that is being worked out with the legislature right now. We introduced about a year and a half ago something called the My Healthy Climate Plan, and the My Healthy Climate Plan is a set of policies and actions that we will take to tackle climate change head on while we create jobs, lower costs for families, address historical inequities that have led to climate injustices in communities like Detroit and others in our state, reinforce our energy security and resilience, and ensure that every Michigander has clean air to breathe, clean water to drink, and reliable, renewable energy to power their lives. We have signed bipartisan legislation that's invested millions in climate-resilient infrastructure that has drawn down resources from the federal government. I certainly want to thank the Biden-Harris administration and our congressional delegation here in Michigan, particularly the Democratic congressional delegation that supported the Inflation Reduction Act, the largest climate change bill package in the history of our country, as well as investments from the CHIPS and Science Act and the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. We have created more than 36,000 jobs in the auto sector, and many of those have been jobs that are focused on electrification. And we've seen that the supply chain grow here in our state through companies that have come and made significant investments like LG Energy Solution, homegrown companies like Our Next Energy, as well as companies like KLA and Goshen. So I'm excited about how we are now leveraging investments that we have made in other areas of our state budget, whether that was the $125 million in the state budget this year to electrify school buses in districts across the country, $43 million to leverage and boost resiliency in our infrastructure and electrical grid across the state of Michigan, $30 million for the Renewable Ready Communities Program to incentivize renewable energy projects in communities across the state of Michigan, $21.3 million for clean energy and electric vehicle infrastructure improvements, $25 million for home repairs and upgrades that enable clean energy for individual families to help families that may want to do something to help lower their own personal energy costs, as well as $20 million to enhance air quality and remediate contaminated sites in historically disadvantaged and underrepresented communities. Too many places where Black and brown people live have dirty water and dirty air. And so we believe that these investments are also helping us do things like replace lead service lines, deal with PFAS contamination and mitigation, and other challenges. So all of this shows that we've taken a lot of action. We've taken a lot of steps. We've made a lot of progress. And this report really validates that we are going in the right direction. But I do want to accelerate our trajectory. We look forward to working with the legislature to codify the My Healthy Climate Plan, which will not only lock in the growth that we've had, but propel us forward for more growth and more ingenuity for years to come and hold on to Michigan's spot as not only a leader in the region, but a leader in the nation for how we're choosing to move forward. We have big problems with climate change, but that means that we have big ideas that will lead to big solutions and better outcomes for all of our people. We have no hesitation in Michigan when it comes to ambition. We've solved big problems on a global scale in the past, and we can do it in the future. So let's just, make a bold commitment to one another, make a bold commitment to our state, to our environment, to our nation, to be the best that we can be in the clean energy space. And I know that we will set and exceed these goals that we've articulated here today. So I want to thank the entire coalition, E2, EIBC, Flow, and companies like yours. Thank you for being Michiganders, for showing that we can do anything and everything here in the state of Michigan. So I really appreciate the opportunity to come and share that today. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Westcott. I'm the Business Development Manager at Harvest Solar. And Harvest is one of the rural small businesses that the Lieutenant Governor referred to. So we are a company of 88 employees. We were founded in 2006 by husband and wife, Mark and Wendy Olenek. And we are a solar installation company. So we do everything from sales to construction to the maintenance of solar systems. And we really focus on rural and agricultural customers. So a lot of our customers are farmers or small businesses in rural areas. We work with individuals, farmers, and other business owners to figure out whether solar really makes sense for them. We're not a company that tries to push solar on people that it doesn't make sense for. If we find that it might save people money and help them achieve their goal of becoming more energy independent, then we break down those savings, how they actually look in terms of incentives, in terms of how they'll save on their utility bills, and then we work with them to design their system and figure out what that looks like for their business or their home. For a lot of people, the decision to go solar is financially driven, and again, we really try to work with customers and help them understand as best as possible how that looks for their situation. In terms of policy and jobs, the Inflation Reduction Act has been huge for Harvest and our customers. So it's been a couple ways that's really affected our sector. First is by extending the investment tax credit, or the ITC, which has really created the most stability the solar industry has ever seen. People call solar the solar coaster, and this IRA provision has really helped to kind of smooth that out by providing that federal incentive of 30% for the next 8 years, I believe. And the second way the IRA has really affected us and our customers and helped us is through the USDA's Rural Energy for America program, or REAP. So REAP is a grant and loan guarantee program for renewable energy systems and energy efficiency improvements for agricultural producers and rural small businesses. which are two of our main customer segments. For many people that are eligible for this REAP grant, solar goes from being a smart financial decision to being a no-brainer. In Michigan, that payback can look, as few as a few years, and, regardless of kind of what the payback was before the REAP grant, is going to help people to reach that ROI faster. So, along with the Inflation Reduction Act, local state policy has also helped to boost the solar industry. A couple of recent changes have been the increase in caps, DG caps by consumers and DTE, thanks to efforts from EIBC and other groups in the state. So increasing those caps from 1% to 6% for DTE and from 2% to 4% for consumers' energy has really created more runway for us to help our customers go solar without having to worry about whether they can be connected to the grid. Harvest is hiring for several positions right now. So like Michaela and the governor referred to, Lieutenant Governor, we are really excited about the growth of the clean energy industry in Michigan, and we are seeing that firsthand. We've hired several people in the past few months, and we are hiring for several right now. And we don't see that stopping. With the tailwinds of those policy incentives that I mentioned earlier, we think that we're really going to keep hiring and growing as a business. One thing I want to highlight is our electrical apprenticeship program. So we have that in-house. Like I mentioned, we do all the work for our customers in-house, from sales to construction to maintenance. And one of the programs that makes that possible is our apprenticeship program. So if people want to become skilled apprentices or skilled electricians, they can go through that program and really do that training on the job. So from salespeople to installers to electricians to anybody in between, we are excited to meet new people who are looking to either start or advance their careers in the clean energy sector. And we look forward to meeting you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Scott Allen Davis, Vice President of Inclusion and Economic Development for SEAL. And again, welcome to SEAL. SEAL is an energy management services company, and we really focus on energy efficiency, program delivery and management, weatherization, renewable energy such as EVs and solar and wind. And we have a robust workforce development initiative that we have also been addressing. As our CEO stated, we do a lot of work across the country, but we are Detroit-based, and we've been here since 2009, and we have over 275 employees across the country, of which 150 are in Michigan. Our Midwest utilities that we work with, and as our CEO stated, we love to partner. Our partnerships with utilities have been great, including DTE, Consumers Energy, Ameren, Illinois, Thumb Electric Cooperative, which is in the Thumb of Michigan, UPCO in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, Wyandotte Municipal, ComEd in Chicago, Indiana, Michigan Power, and Minnesota Power. We're so happy to have the ability to work with so many utilities and have tentacles throughout the Midwest. As a certified minority business enterprise, SEAL is rooted and committed to justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion principles. Therefore, SEAL actively looks for ways to be inclusive and diverse in all realms of the work that is executed. The root of that inclusion and diversity is workforce development and training. And with a diverse and inclusive workforce comes the intentionality of more just and equitable practices as you get into the field. This strategy organically filters to all levels of our work. We do so many things, and SEAL really got started in 2009 when Michigan, specifically the Detroit area, got a big hit with the auto industry and so many people were laid off. We took those blue-collar people that lost their jobs, those very skilled folks, and retrained them to be green-collar workers. And so we've been a part of workforce and connecting people to the green industry from the very beginning of the work that we've been able to do. We've targeted Black and brown communities to make sure that as this industry continues to emerge, that all people are connected to the work and can be trained and done and participate adequately in the work that needs to be done. We've identified the necessary skills skills for the green industry and recruited potential employees with those skills and to train them further as the industry continues to change. As we talk about training, SEAL is a certified Building Principles Institute training facility, BPI. We've trained people across the country in Michigan to make sure that they are able to get the opportunities to get these jobs. But one of the things that we've learned in doing workforce is not just the skill level is important, but also the soft skills. So we have a learning management tool with over 80,000 courses to address those various certifications and soft skills that people need to help people prepare for the workforce. But not just that. As we look at diversifying our workforce, as we talked about, all these jobs are being influxed into not just Michigan, but across the country. The employers need to change and be trained on how to accept a more diverse and different and new employees with different skills across the work. And so we are really dedicated to that as well. So we believe in training, we believe in workforce, and we believe in this great state of Michigan. As the state leads the Midwest, as already been told, in this great work, we support that and are excited about it. How we see the role of the federal and state dollars really infusing in this great area, it is really a great time because so many people are looking for work and looking to do things differently. And what excites us the most is the opportunity for jobs, and more jobs. And the impact that it has, not just on the people who get that work, but it's also going to change these communities. As when people from communities start to do this work, that means people from these communities will start to adopt these new technologies and participate in these programs. And so we'll see an influx of more Black and brown communities being connected, more rural communities being connected, and all of that is important to this work. And so we're excited to be a partner, and we're very grateful that you're here today. Thank you.
I already knew I was going to have to move this one down. Hello, everyone, and thank you for being here. My name is Grace McKenzie, and I'm the Senior Director of Policy at the Michigan Energy Innovation Business Council. Michigan EIBC is a trade organization of more than 160 businesses all across the advanced energy industry, with solar installers like Harvest Solar, EV charging station manufacturers like Flow, and energy efficiency companies like SEAL, and many more. Our mission at Michigan EIBC is to grow Michigan's advanced energy economy, and as Michaela and many others have covered, the new Clean Jobs Midwest report found that Michigan is a leader in the Midwest for clean energy jobs. These jobs enable Michiganders to develop meaningful careers and support their families. A driving force for job growth is federal investments, just like many have highlighted, from the Inflation Reduction Act. To continue to see job growth highlighted in the new Clean Jobs Midwest report, it is critical that state policies also support industry advancement. Clean transportation jobs were the fastest growing clean energy sector in 2022, as we've already covered. Strong state investments in electric vehicle infrastructure, including everything from expanding access to EV charging across the state, and to supporting local governments with transitioning their fleets over to electric vehicles, are crucial to continue to see this job growth and expand access to EVs. Transitioning Michigan's electric grid to renewable sources through a 50% renewable portfolio standard by 2030 and 100% carbon-free standard by 2040 will also help to support good-paying jobs across the state. With the biggest clean energy sector in Michigan being energy efficiency jobs, it's important for Michigan to continue to support this sector by increasing energy waste reduction targets and making state investments in energy efficiency and building electrification. Finally, investments in workforce development and training across the advanced energy sector will build upon funding from the Inflation Reduction Act while continuing to expand job opportunities for Michiganders. Again, thank you all for being here. Thank you to the Lieutenant Governor, ECHU, and to each of our business leaders and representatives. Here, I will hand it back over to Michaela now before we break for questions.
Thank you all so much for being here, and special thanks again to the Lieutenant Governor. And I don't believe we'll have any questions from the audience, but chime in if there are any. No? Okay, cool. Well, thank you all so much for coming, and you can check out the Clean Jobs Midwest report online at cleanjobsmidwest.com.